I want to give you a different kind of business education today. No frameworks, no bullet points, no 10-step process. 5 movies. None of them are The Social Network or The Wolf of Wall Street. None of them are made to teach you business or finance or money directly. But every single one contains a lesson that will make you a sharper entrepreneur. These are movies and moments in movies that I absolutely love for that reason. You're gonna learn how to become a more dangerous competitor than anything you can learn in a business school classroom. Because here's the thing about business school and in classrooms in general, it teaches you frameworks. It might teach you some case studies. It might even teach you how to think about problems in an abstract way, but it cannot put you inside the feeling of a decision. It can't make you viscerally understand what obsession looks like, what the cost of obsession is, what kind of persistence you're going to have to practice every single day to make sure you don't fail. It's not going to tell you what separates the winners from the losers in business. Movies do that. The right movie, watched with the right eyes in the right angle, can rewire how you think about your business in a way that 100 hours of content cannot. So this weekend, I want you to watch differently. Watch as a business owner. Watch for the moment. And I'm going to tell you exactly which moment to look for in each movie. 5 films, 5 moments, 5 lessons. Let's go. Movie number 1, Moneyball. Billy Beane, who's played by Brad Pitt, is the general manager of the Oakland Athletics, which is a Major League Baseball team in the US. But it's a small market team, the lowest payroll in baseball. His best players keep getting poached by the richer teams. By the way, does this sound familiar? I've had my fair share of employees poached by big companies. But then he decides to partner with a young economics graduate who's played by Jonah Hill, and together, him and Billy, they throw out decades of conventional wisdom and rebuild a team around one data-driven insight that the rest of the league is completely ignoring. That piece of data is on-base percentage. Not batting average, not raw talent, not how many home runs this person hit in the last year or the last season, not whether the player looks like a ball player. The scouts hate it and the coaches hate it. Let's take a look at a clip of this film right now and the scene I'm talking about in particular.
None of them.
Billy, we got 38 home runs and 120 RBIs.
Guys, we're still trying to replace Giambi. I told you we can't do it, and we can't do it. Now, what we might be able to do is recreate him. Recreate him in the aggregate.
The what?
Giambi's on-base percentage was .477. Damon's on base, .324. And Almeida's was .291. Add that up and you get...
You want me to speak?
What number point do you get?
1092.
Divided by 3.
It's 364.
That's what we're looking for. 3 ball players whose average OBP is...
364.
Wait a minute, that doesn't look right, doesn't come out right.
That's right, Artie. Okay, here's who we want. Number 1, Jason's little brother, Jeremy.
Billy, that's trouble.
Billy, look, if I may, he certainly has had his problems off the field, and we know that what he can't do on the field. And,
Get a little thick around the waist,
you know, and his reports about him on the weed and the strip clubs.
Well, his on-base percentage is all we're looking at now. And Jeremy gets on base an awful lot for a guy who only costs $285,000.
Geez, Billy.
Number 2, David Justice.
Oh, no. Not a good idea, Billy.
Old man Justice?
Why is that?
Steinbrenner's so pissed at his decline that he's willing to eat a big chunk of his contract just to get rid of him. Anybody.
Exactly.
10 years ago, David Justice, big name. Been a lot of big games. He's gonna really help our season tickets early in the year, but we get in the dog days in July and August. He's lucky if he's gonna hit his weight.
Billy, his legs
Yes.
are gone.
Billy.
He's a defensive liability, and I question whether the bat speed's still there.
His legs are gone.
Grady.
We'll be lucky to get 60 games out of him. Why do you like him?
Because he gets on base.
Did you see that? Every single person in that room is experienced, has been doing it for decades, has been doing it for longer than Billy Beane has been alive, okay? Every single person was completely wrong. Not because they're stupid, because they're using the wrong metrics. They're trying to win a game they can't win using the metrics they want to use. And because everyone around them is using the same wrong metrics, nobody is noticing it. That's what makes it so dangerous, is that everybody just goes along with it. When the entire industry is doing something the wrong way starts to look like the right way. You need a Billy Bean moment in your business. I had a moment like this in my own business when I was building and growing my software company, Webinar Ninja. We couldn't compete with the big giants like Zoom and GoToMeeting when it came to the technology. But we realized that all of them were ignoring customer support. They really dropped the ball there. And we decided we're going to go all in on support and be the best in the game. And that gave us an incredible advantage because we were there for our customers 24/7. Anytime they had a question, anytime they needed support, our agents would sometimes jump on their webinar and help them host it. The lesson I'm trying to give you from this movie, from this moment, from this experience is that the market rewards those who see value others miss. Find where your industry's conventional wisdom is just unchallenged and go ahead and fill that gap. That's an opportunity. For us, everybody was dropping the ball customer support. It was the worst. If you ever try to reach out to any of these big companies, it takes 3 or 4 days to get a response. It's ridiculous. We said, no, everybody's going to get a response within 60 seconds. We just totally crushed it, and that's how we differentiated ourselves. Movie number 2, Castaway. Yep, Castaway with Tom Hanks. He plays a character called Chuck Nolan, who is a FedEx engineer who's obsessed with efficiency and systems. As you might know, his plane goes down over the Pacific Ocean, and he washes up to a deserted island. He's totally alone, nobody else. No team, no tools, no plan. And he doesn't wait to be rescued. He starts to realize no one's going to come to save him. And he builds with what he already has right now in front of him. Let's watch a specific clip we need to talk about.
You wouldn't have a match by any chance, would you? Oh. The air got to it. The air got to it! I did it.
Listen, I'm not embarrassed to admit I've done that scream. Not about fire, but about a landing page that finally converted. About a podcast episode that broke the download record for us. About a software feature that we released in 48 hours. When you're building something, especially early on, especially alone, the small wins feel enormous. And they should, because they are enormous. Because here's the other thing I want you to take from this scene. Count how many times he's failed before it actually lit into a fire. He never said, I'll start when I have better tools or when a lighter kind of washes up from the ocean. He worked with what was in front of him, what he had right now, with bloody hands. That's business. Every single person that I've seen over the years, over the last 20 years in business that have failed at building something, it's because of one thing. They are just waiting. They're waiting for funding. They're waiting for the right moment. They're waiting for the right team. They're waiting. In this movie, Chuck, he's stranded for 4 years on this island. He didn't wait. He started building really quickly. Here's the lesson I want you to take away. Listen closely. The constraints in front of you are not the obstacle. They are the education that you need to move forward. They're going to teach you something, right? I love the book The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday because it teaches you this. Stop waiting until conditions are perfect. They will never be perfect. And guess what? When you do something when things are not perfect, when they're in the worst timing, the worst condition, that means you can pull something off even at the best conditions. No matter what happens, you are unstoppable. So start with what's in front of you right now. Movie number 3. One of my favorite movies of all time, The Prestige. If you've never seen The Prestige, the theme of this movie is obsession is the price of greatness. I want you to just stop for a moment and just hear that again. Obsession is the price of greatness. In this film, 2 rival magicians back in the day in Victorian London. The first one is Robert Angier, played by Hugh Jackman. He's charming, he's theatrical, and he's audience obsessed. The other magician is Alfred Borden, played by Christian Bale. He's technically brilliant and absolutely maniacal about his craft. There's a scene I want you to watch. It's early on in the movie. It's almost like a throwaway scene, but it contains the most important insight about what separates truly extraordinary performers from everyone else.
You're wrong. It can't be.
No, it is.
Look at the man.
This is the trick. This is the performance. Right here. This is why no one can detect his method. Total devotion to his art. Utter self-sacrifice. You know? It's the only way to escape all this. You know?
Oh, I love this movie. This man has been pretending to be crippled 4 years, not on stage, but in his life. Every time he leaves the house, every time someone sees him, every moment, because if he's caught walking normally, even once, the greatest trick of his career is absolutely over. There is no off switch. The act and the life are the same thing. Now, I'm not telling you to deceive people. That is not the lesson. The lesson is the level of commitment, the willingness to structure your entire existence around the pursuit of excellence, the pursuit of excellence in your craft. Most people want the result of that commitment without being willing to live it. Think about the business owners or the people in this world who you genuinely admire, the ones that seem to operate at a completely different level, right? They don't have to even be business people. They could be artists. They could be athletes. It's well known that Steph Curry, who's known as the best shooter of all time in basketball, is absolutely obsessed about his shooting routine. He puts up something like close to 1,000 shots a day. There's a reason why there's a video out there where he hits 126 three-pointers in a row in practice, not missing a beat. It takes a different level of commitment. Great musicians, great artists. I mean, there's this great story of Michael Jackson where he wakes up in the middle of the night and calls his producer, who's Quincy Jones, and says, Quincy, we got to go to the studio right now and record this record that just hit me in the head right now. It's in my mind. I got to get it on tape. I got to get it on vinyl. And Quincy's like, can't this wait till the morning? It's 2 o'clock in the morning. He's like, no, if I don't take action right now, God is going to give this idea to Prince. It sounds insane, but it takes that level of commitment to go after what you want. I'm gonna be honest with you. There are very few moments in the day where I'm genuinely switched off and not building, not thinking about business, not thinking about how we can grow, not thinking about how we can provide more value in each episode. There's not a meal that Nicole and I sit down on and not talk about work, not talk about business. We're obsessed with what we do. Now, that's either inspiring or terrifying. It depends on where you are right now. Either reaction is probably correct. But the lesson I want to give you from this movie is that the people who build extraordinary things stop separating the craft from their life. The craft is their life. Total commitment is not a strategy. It's actually an identity. If this episode is hitting you a little bit differently, subscribe to the show. I have an upcoming episode that dives into the question, are successful people just lucky? How much does luck actually influence your success? I'm doing the research and the pre-production for this episode right now. I can't wait to release it. So hit subscribe so you don't miss it when it comes out. 2 more movies, and the best 2 are still to come. Movie number 4, The Founder. And this one's a tough one, okay? Really, the theme of this movie is about execution, and that execution beats ideas every single time. Now, if you're not familiar with this movie, it's basically the story of McDonald's, the fast food chain. Fair warning. The main character of this movie is Ray Kroc. He's a very controversial figure. Now, I'm not here to tell you that he was a horrible person. I'm not here to tell you that he was a good person. That's for you to decide. I am here to tell you that he was an extraordinary executor. On all 3 things can be true. He could be good, he could be bad, he could be extraordinary at executing. In 1954, Ray Kroc is a 52-year-old milkshake machine salesman, selling milkshake machines at 52. No business experience other than selling these machines. He stumbles across a hamburger stand in San Bernardino, California, and he runs into the 2 brothers, Dick and Mac McDonald. What they built in that location was revolutionary. It was fast food, it was consistent quality, it was unbelievable efficiency. Kroc sees not a restaurant, but a system. Not a business, but an empire. He sees a vision that the brothers just don't see. And the McDonald brothers see a comfortable little operation that they're happy with. They don't see this massive business that he sees as the future of McDonald's. Let's play a particular clip from this movie I want to show you. Let's go.
Persistence. Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent won't. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius won't. Unrewarded genius is practically a cliché. Education won't. The world is full of educated fools. Persistence and determination alone are all powerful. Show that you don't have to be defeated by anything, that you can have peace of mind, improved health, and a never-ceasing flow of energy. If you attempt each and every day to achieve these things, the results will make themselves obvious to you. While it may sound like a magical notion, it is in you to create your own future. The greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. Or, as Ralph Waldo Emerson declared, a man is what he thinks about all day long.
Again, this scene is almost like a throwaway scene. People don't even notice this scene sometimes. He's a 52-year-old man driving alone at night, and he's failed at everything in life up to this point. But he's still going. He's still believing. He's still preparing for a moment that is yet to come. And here is what makes this scene uncomfortable. You know it's coming. You know that the persistence is about to pay off, and you also know what he's about to do with that payoff. He takes the McDonald brothers' idea and their system and their name and their entire life's work, and he makes it his, right? He's obsessed with making this thing the biggest business ever. He equates it to the Catholic Church. Like, there's a church on every corner, there's a McDonald's on every corner, right? It's kind of true if you think about it. And he does this not through invention. He does this through execution, through relentlessness, through unstoppable will. If you watch the film, he's not that creative, but he is going to fight for the opportunity and the vision he sees in front of him. And he sacrifices everything for it. I want you to hold 2 things at once. First, ideas are worth almost nothing without execution. The McDonald brothers had a dinky little restaurant, 1 or 2 locations. Ray Kroc had a vision to take their system and their restaurant and make it into a global empire. His execution beat their execution. The graveyard of entrepreneurship is full of brilliant ideas that weren't executed properly. So that's the first thing I want you to hold in your mind. Second, how you execute matters. What Kroc eventually did to the brothers and the story that's told is pretty sad. You know, if you haven't watched the movie, I don't want to ruin it for you, but he doesn't turn out to look like such a great guy. At the end of the day, his legacy is tarnished. And yeah, he built this crazy, crazy business, but he could have done it by being a better person. Okay, he didn't have to be so nasty, and execution didn't have to be so ruthless. But you can't help but admire his persistence. And that's the lesson here. Sometimes you're going to have to really persist to go after what you want. But yet in that persistence, you got to be careful about the damage you're going to make along the way. You don't want too much collateral damage because your reputation matters. Be persistent, but not at the cost of your reputation. Movie number 5, Whiplash. And the theme of this movie, if you've watched it before, and maybe you missed the theme, but is that your standard is your ceiling. Whatever standard you hold yourself to is really your potential. Now, I saved this movie for last because it's the most uncomfortable one out of all of them, but it's the most important one. Andrew Neiman is a young jazz drummer at the most elite music school in the country. His instructor, Terrence Fletcher, who's played by J.K. Simmons, who's one of the most brilliant performers in cinema, he is an absolute monster, okay? He's a psychologically abusive person who's really just a jerk. He throws chairs around, destroys people's emotional state in a second, all in the name of one belief. The difference between good and great is not talent, but the standard you hold yourself to. He believes that you need to hold yourself to a higher standard if you want to be great. Now, I'm not endorsing Fletcher's methods here, but the one question at heart here of the film is one that you really need to think about. It's one of the most important questions you'll ever ask yourself. Are you actually doing your best? Or are you doing what's comfortable and calling it your best? Big difference. Let's jump into a specific clip from this movie right now.
Now we're going to slow it down a little bit. I'm guessing most of you folks have heard of it.
I'll cue you in. Caravan. 3, 4.
watch Andrew's face in that moment when he's playing. He's not playing for the audience. He's not playing for Fletcher. He's not playing for revenge. He's not trying to prove anything. He's playing for the standard he put for himself. His standard. The one that exists whether there's somebody watching or not. Whether somebody likes it or not. Whether or not it costs him everything. He doesn't care. He wants to play to the standard he believes is excellent. I mean, that moment wrecked me the first time I watched it. Because I've been in that moment. Not on stage, but in my makeshift walk-in closet recording booth when nobody was listening, building the podcast, recording those first few episodes when we had no audience. There was really no reason for me to keep trying and recording to get those first few episodes right, other than believing in what we were building. The entrepreneurs that I found that build something that lasts are not the ones with the best resources. They're not the ones that are brilliant or smart or charismatic or have the best timing or any of that. They're the ones that hold a standard that's completely independent of external validation. They don't really care what people think. They're doing it for themselves to prove something to themselves, that they can build something incredible. They do the work at a level that deserves to be done, where they can go to bed and say, I did something exceptional today. I'm better today than I was yesterday. And that compounds because most businesses operate at the level of what's expected. They do the bare minimum. They operate at a level that what's possible. No, what's possible is always further than you expect. Okay? You need to push the boundaries beyond what you believe is possible. And the lesson that I want you to extract from this movie, from this scene, is that most entrepreneurs are at 70% of what they call their best. There are so many levels you can go beyond that. Okay? You can do better. And you got to hold yourself to that standard because nobody else is going to hold you to the standard. There's no boss. There's nobody's going to push you. There's nobody's that going to scream in your face and say you could do better. Do the work at the level it deserves, not the level that feels comfortable or good enough. So, 5 movies, 5 moments, 5 lessons. When it comes to Moneyball, see what the market's missing before everyone does and go after it. Castaway, build with whatever you have right now. The Prestige, oh, I love that film. Make your craft, what you do, and your life inseparable. There's no difference. It is your life. The Founder, execute, but be careful. Protect the people around you. Do it with respect. And finally, Whiplash, hold the standard that needs no audience. You are the audience. You're doing it so that you could prove to yourself that there are levels to this game. Pick one of these films this weekend. Watch it as a business owner and not a viewer. Not just to be entertained. It's entertaining for sure. But find the moment I just told you about. Pause it. Ask yourself, where is this hitting me? How does this affect my business right now? I promise you, you're going to see it differently and you're going to get more out of it than just a great movie night. If this episode resonated with you, if you want more practical business lessons, then I highly recommend you check out an episode we recently published called The 5 Silent Killers of Success. These are the 5 things I've found in my 20 years of business experience that kill any level of success and what to do about it. Go ahead and check it out. Thanks for listening, and I'll check you in the next one.